Even the best-known names can surprise you.
Pontin's promise.
Have you seen Pontins lately?
Holiday of your life, just for you. Pontin's promise, the holiday of your life.
Phone TeleExpress now for your free brochure.
Some early birds have got a head start on this summer's holiday bargains. Thousands of the lucky so-and-sos will sun themselves on the beaches of France and Spain for less than £100, and some of them will take a child for nothing. I'm told it's all in here. Sun holidays? Now there's an original name.
Nobody does it half as good as you. Horizon, you're the best.
You know how good Horizon Holidays are? Well, now they've brought out a new brochure with even lower prices. Hundreds of thousands of holidays at prices much less than last summer. That's not just better, that's priceless.
Horizon, you're the best.
Ho, 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 thank Christmas that's over. Next holiday, Spain, Greece, what? No, Britain. Where's the Hoseasons brochure's wife? Ah, just the ticket. See life from a boat, not a sleigh. Trolling along canals, cruising rivers, nothing more relaxing. Or there's hundreds of holiday homes. Somewhere to take the kids, plenty of entertainment, or peace and quiet. Now you know why I ho, ho, ho.
Hoseasons Boats and Holiday Homes. Phone 01200 0200 for your brochure now.
Telephone Leeds 440188 now for your 4 free holiday brochures from the Yorkshire Television Holiday Spots, or fill out the coupon in your TV Times.
I really do love Fluffy. He is loved by all the family equally. Fluffy prefers Whiskas from any other cat food. Whiskas is meaty, chunky, good value for money. Everything about it is excellent. In my opinion, there really isn't anything else to compare with its high quality. It looks good, it smells good. Fluffy tells me it tastes delicious. I think no matter what came into our shops, or what brand, they could never meet up with a very high standard of Whiskas. He eats every little bit. He walks away fully contented. I buy Whiskas every time, Whiskas.
Whiskas Super Meat in tests, 8 out of 10 owners who expressed a preference said their cats preferred it.
Say hello to El Billo, El Jimmo and El Sido. After 2 weeks in the sun, I think we're nearly done, but me 2.5 twist has gone a bit skew with. So I chat this senorita by the name of Juanita, but her sister Margarita's who I end up with. She says I drive her frantic, but her shoulders are gigantic, and I really miss my mate called Smith.
John Smith's lager with that little bit of bite. Bueno.
It's not easy for a fella facing mountains of paella if he's sitting in a cellar full of sangria. When they nibble at your ear, then it's time that we weren't here, so we're off to see our mate in the local for a jar. When you've had enough of jets and clicking castanets, you're glad to see your mate called Smith.
When you build a car to such uncompromising standards of engineering, advanced technology and design that it offers truly exceptional visibility, outstanding interior space and fuel economy, new levels of ride, handling and performance, then you've built a car that can challenge every other car in its class. You've built a car that you can only call a Maestro. The 8-car Maestro range. Driving is believing.
Dad, how comes Mum does all the housework?
Oh, because, Rodney, that is nature's way.
Really?
Look, Rodney, it's all to do with the biology of the thing. The female tends the nest. The male is the provider, the hunter.
So you hunted down this packet of Knorr special recipe quick soup, overpowering the pieces of chicken and ham and crispy croutons.
They're croutons. It's French. Gloria, I've made the soup. You'll learn, Rodney. This is a man's world.
New Knorr special recipe quick soup with croutons.
Tonight on ITV, Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand star in the bittersweet story of The Way We Were.
What is it?
What do you mean, what is it? I want us to be better. I want you to be better. Sure, I make waves. I mean, you have to, and I'll keep making them until you're every wonderful thing you should be and will be.
The Way We Were, 9:40 tonight on ITV.
To some people, the perfect holiday is pretty peaceful and relaxed, while for others, it's quite the opposite. Happily, we all find what's right for us with Haven Holidays, 15 self-catering parks and villages around the best of Britain, from delightful tucked-away villages for peace lovers to big, all-action parks for action seekers. So whatever kind of family you are, there's a Haven holiday that's just right for you.
Hi, I'm Belgie. Say, Holiday Belgium's terrific value, you know. Beautiful sandy beaches and friendly natives, too. Great fun for everyone. Visit historic, romantic Bruges, Ghent, Antwerp, Brussels, or stay a while in our countryside. Travel overnight from Hull to Zeebrugge with North Sea ferries. Belgium's buzzing, day and night. Yeah, get your brochures from the Belgian Tourist Office. Pop over soon, will you?
Holiday Belgium. Terrific value in Europe.
So, 3 people, 2 weeks in Greece, late July. Let's see. Just a minute, darling. Well, this is a tour operator I'd recommend. It's a lovely resort, good hotel, and between the 3 of you, you'll save at least... Oliver. Is there someone else?
Oliver.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you down there, sir. Perhaps you'd like to see some special information for bears while I sort this out. Now, 4 people, 2 weeks.
Don't just book it. Thomas, cook it.
Whatever you look for in a holiday, whether it's sun, sea, and nightlife, or a trip round the mists of antiquity, giving the family a well-earned rest, or meeting new friends, whatever holiday you're after, you can't do better than British Airways Enterprise. In fact, if you can find the same holiday with a price to beat it, we'll meet it. So relax, you're with Enterprise. Isn't that better?
I bet your last family holiday wasn't as much fun as ours. Did you breakfast in the open air enjoying this kind of freedom? Did your children make new friends every day? Did you eat the finest French food? Did you have free windsurfing and sailing from a safe sandy beach? Did you barbecue like this, with a view like this? If not, it's time you discovered our kind of family holidays. But you can only get our brochure by ringing this number, so do call us now.
To help you choose your holiday, use our free brochure service and ask for up to 4 free holiday brochures featured in the Yorkshire television holiday spots. Telephone Leeds 440188 now and ask for the brochures you want, or fill out the coupon in your TV Times.
At Queensway's biggest ever winter sale, this Can Lounge Suite half price, just $199.95.
And finally, the best of the news that ends the news from ITN, brought together in And Finally, 1:05, Monday, January the 2nd.
Well, now on Yorkshire Television, with the time just coming up to 21 minutes to 10, we join ITN for the news.
Good evening. At least 6 people were killed and another 50 injured tonight in 2 terrorist bomb attacks in the south of France. First, 2 people died in a Marseille to Paris high-speed train when 2 bombs went off as it raced towards Lyon. 2 first-class coaches were badly damaged, but the train stayed on the rails. 15 minutes later, a suitcase bomb containing 6 pounds of explosive killed 4 people when it went off in the left luggage office at the main railway station in Marseille. So far, no one's claimed responsibility for either attack. This year, there have been several explosions around Marseille. Police have blamed both right-wing French terrorists and Lebanese extremists. Nigeria has reported calm this evening after the military coup which overthrew President Shagari's civilian government. Shagari is said to have been arrested during a visit to central Nigeria. In the capital, Lagos, a dusk-to-dawn curfew has been imposed, troops and tanks have been stationed at key positions, and political parties have been banned. There were reports of shooting early today, but an army brigadier said on Nigerian radio the takeover had been bloodless. About 20,000 Britons live in Nigeria, but the coup leaders say foreigners will be protected. A Nigerian government official who supports the coup arrived in London today.
95% of Nigerians will be jubilating now for this takeover. It's very, very rare, but then it is the truth.
Wouldn't they prefer to have a civilian government rather than a military one?
Of course they would prefer to have a civilian administration, but not the type of administration that have been overthrown by the army.
What's been wrong with it?
Corrupt, inefficient, maladministration.
Shehu Shagari, a devout Muslim, became president 4 years ago. He was re-elected in August with a massive majority and was sworn in for another 4-year term. Shagari, who was in London 2 years ago, has been plagued with economic difficulties and allegations of corruption. Today's takeover is the 5th military coup in 17 years. The army last held power from 1966 to 79, a period which included the Civil War. Nigeria emerged from the conflict as Black Africa's richest nation, but today the country is £2 billion in debt. 90% of its foreign earnings come from oil, and it's been badly hit by the world glut. Stringent austerity measures have failed, and the economic crisis was partly responsible for the much criticised expulsion earlier this year of 2 million West African illegal workers. Some financial experts are now afraid that the coup could lead to an upset in the delicate world balance of supply and demand for oil.
The South African couple convicted of being Russian spies are to appeal against their sentences. Dieter Gerhardt, former head of the strategic Simonstown naval base, was jailed for life. His wife Ruth was sentenced to 10 years.
The 48-year-old former commander of the Simonstown Naval Dockyard arrived knowing he could face the death sentence for espionage activities that dated back 21 years. As he entered court, he was accompanied by his 41-year-old wife Ruth. She had acted as courier for her husband, ferrying documents to Soviet agents in Europe. The sentence, like the rest of the 47-day trial, was given behind closed doors. Later, in a brief statement, the Attorney General of the Cape made it clear that the court had totally rejected Gerhardt's defense that he'd been employed by South African counterintelligence. According to legal sources, Dieter Gerhardt escaped the death penalty because his espionage activities had not involved the loss of South African lives. Peter Sharp, ITN in South Africa.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson, a Democratic contender for the American presidency, has met the US airman who's being held by the Syrians. Lieutenant Robert Goodman was shot down during air raids over Lebanon earlier this month. He said he was being treated well, but hoped to be home soon. The Syrians say he'll be freed if the Americans end all reconnaissance flights over Syrian-held areas of Lebanon. Now sport, and with news of the latest matches in the big Christmas soccer programme, our sports correspondent Jeremy Thompson.
Liverpool at the top of Division 1 seems as much a part of New Year's Old Lang Syne these days, and almost as predictable. The man who scored the only goal at Nottingham Forest was Ian Rush, who brought his season's tally to 22. While Arthur Graham's header gave Manchester United a 1-0 win over Stoke, so setting the scene for the ultimate confrontation between the two pace-setters at Anfield on Monday. West Ham moved into third spot, beating injury-hit Spurs 4-1 and overtaking Southampton, who were held to a 2-2 draw by Arsenal. Charlie Nicholas, who hit a penalty in that match, has now scored 4 goals in 4 games since Terry Neal's departure. While England striker Paul Mariner was full of New Year resolution as he hit one of the season's fastest goals. It came after just 140 seconds from an O'Callaghan free kick and was enough to give Ipswich a 1-0 win over Notts County. Sheffield Wednesday were finally prized off the top of Division 2. They drew 1-1 at Carlisle, and that let Chelsea in ahead of them for the first time this season. Although Kerry Dixon missed his 3rd penalty in 4 days, a late goal by Dave Speedy gave Chelsea a 1-0 victory against Brighton and a narrow lead on goal difference. Close behind them, Manchester City drew, Newcastle and Grimsby both won, and Huddersfield ruined Charlton's unbeaten home run of 14 games with a 2-1 victory. A corner from Pugh headed in by Harvey gave Huddersfield a one-goal first-half lead. Charlton had wasted plenty of chances, though, until a hopeful boot-out of defence found Derek Hales at his bustling best to provide the equaliser. But a late breakaway by Huddersfield caught Charlton by surprise, and Russell lofted in the winner. Finally, a disappointing end to the year for the world's darts champion Keith Deller. He lost in the first round of his title defence to the American Nicky Verashkal.
Finally, as the old year comes to a close, crowds of revellers are gathering in London's Trafalgar Square for the traditional New Year's celebrations. The crowds are good-humoured and undismayed by the security measures taken to avoid last year's tragedy. And as they see the old year out, from all of us here, it's good night and Happy New Year.
And now the regional weather forecast. Except for a few spots of rain in the north of the region, the night will be fine and dry, but windy with a minimum temperature 8 centigrade, 46 Fahrenheit. New Year's Day will be mostly cloudy with only a few brighter intervals at first, and these mainly in the east. Outbreaks of rain will slowly spread to the area from the west. Temperatures will remain near 9 centigrade, 48 Fahrenheit with a strong southwest wind increasing to gale force at times.